Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be playing Terraria again, for the first time in a good while. This here is Vera, who has found herself inside of a cage, after waking up from being passed out. She found a starter bag, and she plans to go ahead and take vengeance for whoever put her in here. The starter bag obviously has a lot of useful goodies, which we will go ahead and put in a chest immediately. But first things first, this is an expert mode playthrough, which means that we're not going to be needing Revengeance, Ironheart, Defiled Rune, or Death. I could hypothetically do a Revengeance mode, but it would just take so much longer to get episodes out. Because especially later game, like Doomfishron and Plaguebearer and Goliath are ridiculous. So ultimately I've decided to go ahead and do expert mode playthrough and make it more enjoyable for me until I get better skill. And then once I get good enough, I'll go ahead and get started on. Okay, so annoying Amethyst Staff. So we're actually, Vera's a mage user, which means she's going to be using that weapon first, the annoying Amethyst Staff, which is already not a great weapon to start off with. By putting minus 21% damage and minus 15% speed on it, it is just abysmal. So Vera managed to break out of the cage using the pickaxe she found on the ground upon waking up, and now we're going to be chopping trees, which means I can talk about other things than chopping trees. So yes, welcome to the next playthrough of 1.3.6 modded. I will provide a mod list in the description below for this video, and possibly other videos, but definitely for this one. Some of the major ones are Calamity and all the associated Calamity Mod music mods, because the music is just too good. There's also AlchemistNPC, Luiafk, Weapon Out, which you may have already seen, allows your character to go ahead and hold the weapon even when they're not actually using it. And boss checklist and boss health bar. Yet another boss health bar. So those are the main ones. There's a few other side ones that aren't really extremely important, but so Vera found a ice biome here. And this is good because the first magic weapon, in theory, she's going to be getting upgrade to the Amethyst Staff is called the Frostbolt, and that requires 2 Shiver Thorns. There are some Shiver Thorns on the ground, but she didn't find any grown-up ones yet, which is sensible. At least she'd have to walk through the corruption or something to get to these, which has happened in other worlds, and it was not great. So Vera managed to find an ice cave in literally the first 5 minutes of playing the game, which is awesome. I mean, the only issue is that she only has an annoying Amethyst Staff to defend herself, which is not great. But there is a demon altar, which we saw earlier, but it signifies the fact that this is a corruption world. And a life crystal. Wow, that was fast. Definitely good this early in the game. Life crystals make a huge difference. The first couple you get. And I'm probably going to be speeding up the rest of this mining expedition unless something interesting happens. Usually I slow it back down for when there's a chest or when there's a life crystal. Because as much fun as like walking around, placing torches, and mining is, I feel like it's probably best that you only see the interesting things. Oh, another life crystal. Now that's pretty, really good. Once again, this is only like about the first 5 minutes of playing the game, so this is already way better than I'm usually doing. I think the Terraria gods are smiling on me for this one after giving me like the worst starting weapon possible. And there's gems. Like, I think there's 3 different gem veins, types of gems there? Yeah. Sapphire, topaz, and amethyst. Which makes Vera have an idea of perhaps mining those and making another amethyst staff. Because of the fact that the annoying amethyst staff is just so awful. And inadvertently led to our first death. Also the fact that bats do 40 damage. Like that little pop-up on the bottom? Yeah, I made it myself. Anyway, Vera goes ahead and decides to go ahead and start placing doors on both sides of the cage she was trapped in, so that way she can use it as a temporary shelter. And she starts going to the other side logically, and mining more wood, which is definitely the most entertaining content possible. She got a rover drive from literally the first rover that she killed, which is good, because it gives 10 defense at like every 20 seconds. Now, night was coming upon her, and she wasn't exactly in the best position here. She was going to recall, but then she saw the light of perhaps a fallen star. And she decided it was better to go ahead and just walk back home, even risking dying to these demon eyes. And she made it somehow, which was pretty nice. So she went ahead and started walking back into the snow biome. She got another life crystal, or not life, mana crystal, which is helpful a lot, considering we're going to have to shoot enemies like quite a bit in order to kill them. So she's back in the ice cave that she found earlier, and she's looking to actually mine these gems here, which she does. Then she notices a slime at the top of the screen, and she decides to make clever use of this particular device here. After fighting with the bat for probably about a minute, she managed to kill it. And then another bat came and she had to kill that, which was great. And then another slime after that. The amount of mobs that spawn in these caves is just ridiculous, but whatever. She saw that there was more amethyst inside that cave there, and she wanted to get access to it, but she knew she would die if she jumped into all 3 of those slimes. And of course, things only got better whenever there was an undead Viking. And I'm speeding this up like 10 times because of the fact that it took so long with the amethyst staff to actually kill it. It was ridiculous. So this is not great, as it shows that if we find any other undead Vikings, we're pretty screwed. Wait, oh, diamond. We may need diamonds for a diamond staff later on. And I think there's another diamond over there on that ledge. Yes, there is. Okay. Okay, that's pretty amazing that we already found some diamonds. And we also found the skeleton merchant. Unfortunately, I'm not a yo-yo user, or else this would be a lot better. But she did decide to purchase some strange brew, as it restores mana as well as health. But anyway, she continued mining. The diamonds are going to be useful for both magic storage and also, if the world has platinum, she's going to need a diamond staff in order to craft an upgrade after Desert Scourge is defeated. So not a lot else is happening here right now, which is why it's sped up, obviously. She did find this patch of thin ice, which is, an emerald parlor. That's definitely very useful, as this world has tungsten, and Vera wanted an upgrade to her gem staff, like, really bad. This continues for some time, but there's also a life crystal there. So she went ahead and blocked the mob in using wood really quickly. And she also noticed there was undead Vikings that were trying to attack her, which is not great. As I already said, it would basically spell her certain doom if she had to fight them, which is why she decided to try to fight them. I don't know what she was thinking here. I don't know what she expected to come out of it, but I think she was trying to like put them in the water and then so they couldn't jump out. The only problem is she couldn't jump out either. So that was a recall instead of a death because she actually thought quickly, which is good, I suppose. She realized that she literally didn't mine any stone this entire time and needed a furnace. So she decided she would start mining stone. Despite doing this, she will not craft a furnace for a little while. Because, I don't know, Vera is very brilliant when it comes to that. Instead, she decides to start exploring the left side of the world again. Looking for stone, it looks like. And at this point, she does have enough to make a furnace, which is what she's checking here. However, she's not going to, because she wants to go ahead and explore to the left before it becomes nighttime and she just dies. There's a bunch of annoying flying fish to deal with, and an umbrella slime at the same time, which is just swell. Vera utilizing the light of the staff is probably the only useful thing about it, to go ahead and see how deep the pit is and where to jump. So this particular tree was kind of a dud, but she mined for a bit and actually found some cave systems that were not ice biome, and as such she might actually have a chance of being able to kill the mobs in here. Now one can just admire how good she is at actually aiming her shots. That was sarcasm, by the way. Either way, I will likely be speeding this part up because it is not that interesting to watch her fight a bunch of mobs. Or I guess not. Oh, look at that. She decided to fall into the hole. And instead of wormholing out at this point, she instead tried to place platforms on a surface without walls. And ultimately that led to her death. Second death of the series and of this episode. So that was kind of unfortunate, but you know, she at least found another cave, and that's good. She's decided to put stuff in chests at this point, and shoot a zombie for no reason. As well. She crafts a furnace, and then she crafts an anvil. And she does craft the dig faster, which is an accessory added by Luiafk that is going to make my life and her life a whole lot easier, as it increases mining speed by 35%. Just flat 35% mining increase, which is amazing. She's contemplating about crafting the amethyst staff, as she technically can, but she didn't because of the fact that she wanted to get an upgrade rather than just an amethyst staff. Because she figured that an amethyst staff is still an amethyst staff and it's still garbage. So that was her next death. Although there's not really much she could have done in that situation, to be frank. So she decides to go to the left side instead. And she's back in the cave. Now she's kind of wary of that detonator there. And it wasn't actually a detonator, it was a boulder trap. So luckily she decided to go ahead and be somewhat cautious, or else she would have died there. This world has platinum, which is probably one of my worst fears it could have had, but you know, we'll work with it. This just means that we need 8 plus 3 diamonds in order to get both the storage system and also the aquamarine staff after Desert Scourge. Which is going to be it's just going to be a bit of a grind. I'm not probably going to film the mining expedition in its entirety. However, she did find a golden chest. It was just a band regeneration, but I mean, at least I can make the mana cuffs later on. So that's something. She also found this minecart track, which is helpful. Although she decides to explore up top first and realizes there's nothing there, so she decides to go down. However, in the process, she accidentally breaks one of the tracks, and she has to fight black slimes for a while before she can even gain access to the rest of it. She finds more amethyst, which I'm not exactly sure what she's planning to do with it at this point, considering she doesn't want to craft an amethyst staff. So Vera finally took the minecart track and realized there's not a whole lot there, out in the open at least. So she decides to go ahead and go down this particular pit. And after, like, you know, getting assaulted by a bat, she finds both an emerald crawler, which she does not notice, and also a chest. It was another band of regeneration, but a skeleton kind of locks her in, as she doesn't have a double jump or grapple or anything, so she's kind of screwed here. And there wasn't much she could have done to save herself, less, you know, just shoot more. But I don't know, I don't think it would have been enough. It was at that point where she finally realized there was a emerald crawler, and that sucks for everyone involved. But she did, she wanted to craft an amethyst hook, which is definitely a useful upgrade to mobility. And this is where she found the first Shiver Thorn she actually needed to craft the Frostbolt. She decides to go ahead and try crossing the Corruption early to go ahead and get access to the dungeon, and by extension a bookcase, as she's going to be needing that as well. However, the Corruption at this point is a bit too much for an Amethyst staff to be able to handle, especially an annoying Amethyst staff. So she ends up dying here to a corrupt goldfish. So she starts exploring the left side more, and past the tree, she actually found a desert temple, which is quite rare normally, and it can contain some pretty good loot. So she was crossing her fingers and hoping for something good. Okay, so she managed to get into it. Now, what is it? And it's Pharaoh's clothes. Oh my god, why? The developer who fricking made Pharaoh's clothes needs to be burned at the stake. Anyway, she decided to go underneath in the cave, and it was a desert cave, and she wanted to get back to the normal caves, and instead was intercepted by a tomb crawler, which she has no way of being able to counteract this early in the game. So she was kind of out of luck. So she decided to craft a Wand of Sparking, as it's cheaper than the Amethyst Staff and might be better. She also crafted an Aglet for movement speed increase. The Wand of Sparking does only 1 less damage than the Amethyst Staff, in theory, but in practice it just isn't great at all. And when going back to the cave underground, she died twice in a row. Brilliant. Either way, she went ahead and went back to the cave underground and managed to get back to the minecart track. However, Hippolyte was attacking her, and the Hippolytes basically spell your doom if you're not paying attention. 60 damage per javelin that gets stabbed into you, which is not great. Also, she missed the grapple trick there and took 40 fall damage. Chaos Elemental didn't kill her, but there's some other slime, which is annoying. She managed to juke it out though, which is quite impressive, honestly. Collecting silt here because she knows that the diamond grind is going to be quite obnoxious otherwise. And she found a bit of emeralds, which is almost enough for an emerald staff. Just tantalizingly close. And she got a gold portal with 15 gold in it. Which is, wow. You don't see that too often, honestly. She realized this is the start of the ice biome and decides she doesn't want to go into the ice biome, as her weapon still is garbage. So she goes the other way and is actually able to kill the skeleton this time, as she can just damage boost through it instead of getting trapped. This time she almost died, but she used her grapple hook to just hang over it and kill it that way. She found a teal mushroom, which is later used for a health upgrade, so that's why she got it. And another skeleton, once again damage reducing through it to just not get trapped. A large vein of amethyst, and she's now thinking that she could get a robe. Amethyst robe, perhaps. To enhance her magic abilities. And she found a single ruby, which is actually pretty good, even though like she doesn't need to get the ruby staff, or can't get the ruby staff. Okay, she's collecting more silt here, once again for the extractinator. She's starting to realize that the, oh, a life crystal. Good. And more emeralds. 10 emeralds, 11 emeralds. Wow. So, she got the life crystal, which is helpful. Once again, she's now going to have 180 health after this. Which is quite amazing. And she finds the mother lode, an emerald cave. There's at least 20 emeralds in here, and in the end she ended up getting like 40 something emeralds, which is awesome. That's a huge weapon upgrade. She continues exploring though and finds this marble cave, which she loots. Struggles with inventory problems for a while. Not a single portion of this 30-minute video could have been edited down. Not a single bit. Anyway, she continues through the marble house thing. Where I think these are called houses, I don't know. I'm gonna call them houses. So she continues through the marble house, and she finds A, another minecart track, and B, another cave bat, which is nothing new, honestly. But so she utilizes this minecart track to go ahead and see if there's actually anything nearby. There's both a life crystal and also a chest. She gets the chest first. It has found a bottle, which is an amazing upgrade. And she chooses to swap out the ancient fossil, which just provides even more mining speed. Struggling with inventory more, and she started kind of getting surrounded by enemies here. Hippolyte and a bat, and the Hippolyte started actually aiming correctly, and then she was down to 10 health, and she realized then that she actually had 16 gold on her. It would be a shame to lose a majority of that. So this is when she's going to start using her 56 emeralds. Oh my lord. Start crafting some things. First thing she crafts is an emerald staff, which she actually got a good reinforcement on, as opposed to the one she got at the beginning. She then goes ahead and starts making the materials for a loom, and then crafts a sawmill to make the loom. when she finds it. There you go. She's running out of space inside her cabin, or jail cell or whatever. So she's deciding to place it on the roof, but she can't place it on the roof as the blocks are half slabs. So she turned them into whole blocks and then got the loom, and then Mom started harassing her as usual. There's always mobs everywhere. It's obnoxious. She ended up giving up on the loom and started exploring to the other side, past the desert, and she found the second corruption, which there's usually at least 2 of them in a world, one on each side. So she found the second one, and she decided to test her new abilities by going through it. And she managed to survive this, which is good. The added power and knockback of the amethyst, or emerald staff, was a lot better. And she found the jungle, and she looked at a few of the surface chests. Nothing particularly great came out of this. As she didn't want to actually enter the underground jungle, lest she just get murdered, which probably would have happened at this point. So instead, she went ahead and decided to not do that and just be content with the chests on the surface. 2 of the chests happened to be climbing claws, which she already had one of them, and it was pointless. It was at this point she actually went back, and she found another 3 stars literally right next to each other at her spawn, which was very nice. Another mana crystal immediately. So she crafts an emerald hook to upgrade her amethyst hook because she can. She has quite a bit of emeralds to spend. And I don't know what she's doing here. She's getting platforms to put the loom in her base. Instead of placing it outside where the mobs can get her, she's placing it inside by making more room. You may have asked, why didn't she do this sooner? That's an excellent question. I don't know. But either way, she decided to start making silk, and eventually she realized the fact that she couldn't actually reach the loom from the ground floor. So she used her grappling hook at some point to go ahead and actually reach it. And then she's able to craft the silk eventually after finding it. She had enough silk to craft the amethyst robe, or not amethyst robe, the emerald robe, which adds 3 extra stars, it looks like, in addition to allowing lowered mana usage and more. So she went back to the ice biome to see if the other Shiverthorn had grown, and indeed it did. So she grabbed that, and then she decided that she had to get the bookcase at this point to finally craft the Frostbolt. Now, it was at this point she realized that Ebonian Blight Slimes are actually not that big of a deal, and she made it to the dungeon. I just cut out the part where she was crossing the corruption because we already seen she can do it. So she is grabbing books, and something unbelievable happened. Okay, 1 water bolt. That's pretty rare. And then she gets 2 of them. One of them being Mystic, the best reinforcement for a magic weapon. What the hell? I will not be using these weapons until after Skeletron, because of the fact that I feel like it's kind of cheaty to do so. But either way, she crafts the Frostbolt, and look at that. Already quite a good start on weaponry for the first boss. Now she just needs more movement accessories. That'll be it. That'll be all. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next part. Have a good day. Adios.